You've probably heard the phrase never give up so many times that you're absolutely sick of it. The reality is that people never really quit because they're lazy. They quit because they're getting nothing back in return for the amount of effort that they're putting in. You can work hard for weeks and still not know if you're improving. You can do all the right things and still see no clear, visible results. And that lack of feedback messes with your brain. It makes you feel like you're gambling your time. And if you're already tired, skinned, stressed, dealing with heavy stuff at home, that silence feels even worse. So you stop. Not because you hate effort, but because you hate guessing. Another reason you quit is because it doesn't feel like you. You try something and it feels awkward, forced, or fake. And sometimes that is a real sign that you're on the wrong path. But other times it's just a stage where you're new at something and self-conscious. Either way, that's still a rational signal, it's not a character flaw. Then there's something called the delayed reward problem. Some things pay you back immediately, like a workout that instantly lifts your mood. Other things pay you back months later, like learning a skill, changing your finances, or rebuilding trust. You don't quit those because you lack grit. You quit them because you expected the future to show up early. The reality is you're not really waiting for motivation. You're waiting for certainty. You want a sign that this will work and that you are the kind of person who can do it. But when you don't get that sign, you treat it like a verdict. So the real trap isn't giving up. It's expecting clarity before you quit. Most worthwhile things start with a choice you repeat while the outcome is unclear. When you picture persistence, you probably picture a big moment, a turning point where you dig deep and power through. In real life, persistence is usually mundane. It's the same small tasks done again and again with the same doubts sat beside it. It doesn't feel brave at all, it just feels like an ordinary Tuesday. Most people don't quit in one big dramatic moment, they quit in tiny, reasonable steps. You skip today because you're tired. You skip tomorrow because it's raining. Then you tell yourself that you'll restart when you've got more time, more energy, more confidence. Each choice makes sense on its own, but together they wear down your belief that you're someone who follows through. And that's the real loss, not the missed session or the missed application. It's the quiet message you send yourself that says, I'm not really the kind of person who can do this. Psychology has a plain word for the exact opposite of that: self-efficacy. It just means that you believe your actions can change outcomes because you've seen it happen. You don't get that belief from one huge push, you get it from small, tiny wins that stack up over time. A 10-minute practice you actually make time to do, a simple habit you maintain even on a bad day, a hard conversation that you stop delaying. Consistency isn't glamorous, but it's how your brain learns that you're reliable. And quitting is often less about failure and more about erosion of belief. You stop because you simply don't trust your effort to matter. Here's a distinction that helps. You can quit a strategy without quitting your identity. If a plan isn't working, then just change the plan, change the pace, make the next step smaller, or get support. That isn't quitting, it's adapting. Quitting is when you hand your long-term direction over to a short-term feeling. Imagine if you didn't default to quitting when things get thin. Not when it gets unsafe or truly damaging, but just when things become unclear. Nothing can ever guarantee success. No matter how hard you try, some things will just never work. But if you just stop quitting when things get thin, your relationship with setbacks would completely change. A bad week won't mean it's over, it'll just mean that was a bad week. A slow month wouldn't mean you're not cut out for this, it would just mean that results can lag behind effort. And you'd start treating time differently too. Instead of asking when will I feel motivated, you'll ask yourself what's the smallest version of this I can keep alive today. Because the goal isn't to bully yourself, it's to stop letting mood dictate your direction. And if you're carrying real hardship, you're allowed to slow down. You can make it smaller without making it meaningless. There's still a choice inside that. You can still keep a thin thread of effort going. And over time, that thin thread becomes a relationship that you have with yourself. You start to see yourself as someone who persists and continues, even when you feel emotionally flat. That thread does something far deeper than progress. It teaches you who you are when life isn't cheering you on. Never giving up doesn't mean blind persistence on a bad path. It means discomfort and uncertainty don't get to make your big decisions. So here's the real question. What would you persistently keep doing for the next 6 months if you knew you would never quit?